What's up, guys? It's Nick, and today we are looking at r/unpopular opinion because sometimes we just have opinions that no one else seems to agree with, and so I think we need to express some of those opinions, and let's just do it. So there's this stuff at the top, which it's pinned, so I'm not gonna look at that because it's stinky, not what I want. All right. First one, Reddit is just as toxic as any other social media site. Reddit hates Facebook/Instagram users because they're attention-seeking and ignorant. At the same time, the anonymity of Reddit users uh, results in being pedantic, petty, and ultra-critical. How is one superior to the other? Ooh, bold move going on Reddit and trashing on Reddit. Oh, frick, I'm not logged in. Whatever. Alright, I just won't bother then. Yeah, bold move. How could you say something so controversial yet so brave? Honestly, yeah, going on Reddit and trashing on Reddit, I respect that. I respect the trip. Refusing service to someone for being rude should be more accepted. Ooh, if I'm preparing and serving your food or performing any service for you and you want to be rude and or complain about how poor of a job I'm doing, you can go kick rocks. Especially when most times the person doing the job is getting paid dirt cheap, dirty deeds done dirt cheap, sometimes making most of the money from tips. The customer is always right is a philosophy that businesses of all kinds should stay away from. Honestly, kind of yeah, I kind of agree with that. Cause, I mean, at a restaurant, if I ever get something that's like, let's say it's not like exactly how I asked, or like it's like the wrong thing, I'm having this now, because I don't know, you don't know what the people have been through to make this, and just like their job is probably not that great, whatever. Like I don't need to add to that, and also I really just don't care that much about my food. It's like it's probably fine, and like I still trust them. All right. Forcing children to pledge the allegiance is kind of creepy. This isn't one of those haha fat American pigs posts because those are annoying. I'm American, here's my opinion. The Pledge of Allegiance is kind of weird. The song about praising America for its accomplishments and everyone has to stand and stare at a flag with their hand on their chest and this weird militaristic pledge seems strange to me. It's especially uncomfortable with the under God part. This is basically, yeah, thanks America, we have freedom of speech and religion, but we're forced to speak and thank God. There's no one else uncomfortable with that. You don't you don't have to say the Pledge of Allegiance. You can plead the first, which is freedom of speech, and you don't have to say the Pledge of Allegiance. No one actually forces you to. It's just that most people do. So you don't no one is you're not forced to, actually. I think they might make you know it in school because of like history stuff, but you never have to say it. I think that's very misinformed, which I'm actually wondering if anyone is talking about that. Um, uh, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, yeah, this guy never been forced to do it, and yeah, I bet that it does happen, but I don't think that's like I don't know. If anything, that's definitely a private school thing because I don't think public schools would be allowed to do that because you're allowed to plead the First Amendment. You have freedom of speech. You don't have to say it. Yeah. Someone just wrote out the Pledge of Allegiance. Uh, yeah. No, but I don't think you have to. Maybe like as a kid, obviously you don't really know the whole stuff. You don't know that you can pledge the First Amendment, and then yeah, yeah, and it even says that we have freedom of speech. You're not forced to. So I mean, even in like first grade, I don't think if you didn't say it, no teacher would come up to you and be like, why didn't you say it? I feel like they would just be like, or maybe they would ask why you said it, why you didn't say it, but like I don't feel like they would be like mad in any way. At least not like the kind of teachers that I had in school. I don't know, or still have in school. I'm still in school. I don't know why I said had. I'm still in school. Uh, well, I guess not in school because it's quarantine, but whatever. Alright. Protesters who block entry into hospitals should be charged with attempted murder. If your sole purpose is to prevent people from getting aid during an emergency, you deserve to be charged for attempted murder. You know your actions could potentially kill someone, so it should be seen as a premeditated attempt to indirectly kill someone. I don't know if I would go as far as murder, but I don't know. I feel like there's some punishment for doing that. I don't think anyone does that like and gets off scot free from it. But yeah, but I don't know. There definitely should be like some like there I don't know, there should be some punishment for that, but I don't know if I would go as far as attempted murder. I don't care how much you hate Americans. When in the U.S., you should respect their customs exactly as you demand Americans to respect yours in your home country. Which is to say, fucking tip your wait staff. I don't care if it's not how you do things back home. You're not back home, you're abroad. Behave accordingly and understand that if you don't tip, the server suffers, not the business. You're not sticking it to anyone by not tipping, except that 16-year-old who worked for the money or the single mom you just cheated out of her own earnings. Even more so than that, cool it about small shit that doesn't affect you. The portions are too big. Cool, take some leftovers. They wear their shoes inside. Their home, their rules. They have a gun safe. Okay, then if you're uncomfortable, go somewhere else. You're not obligated to like or agree with anything Americans do, but when you're in the U.S., you're a tourist. Keep that in mind. I mean, yeah. I kind of agree with that. Not to, like, say that they should be, like, forced to, but it's just, like, it's common courtesy. It's, like, generally, if you're a tourist and you go to another country, you try and follow their customs and stuff to try and, like, be appreciative of the culture or whatever, anything like that. And I kind of feel like there are a lot of times where the reverse doesn't happen, where other people come here and don't always follow the customs, which that's fine in a way, because America is like a big like melting pot of cultures. There's a lot of different cultures in America. But I feel like it really only applies to like when you're out and about, like if you're going out like visiting places or like this thing, going out to like a diner or something like that. Then yeah. But like if you're in your house, it doesn't matter. Like if you're in like your house on tour, whatever, hotel room, whatever you're doing, then do whatever you want. I don't really care. But I feel like this, yeah, I kind of agree with. If a girl hits a boy, the boy can hit back. Whew, okay. If a girl just hit a boy hard for no reason, the boy should be allowed to hit back. It's just sexist that boys can't protect themselves. People should just stop hitting each other, no matter what you identify as. You shouldn't hit anyone, but don't abuse what you identify as. Okay. Yeah, also, English isn't your first language. Okay. Yeah. Which, I get that. But, I don't know. See, it's hard because I definitely used to agree with this. I definitely used to be like, as like a younger kid, like 7 or 8 maybe. Like my sister would totally hit me, and then I would get really upset about it, and I would want to hit her back, and everyone would be like, "Oh no, I don't." So back then, I would totally agree with this. Right now, I'm kind of in the mindset which this this part kind of says it. Uh, no one should be hitting each other, but then they're also talking about boys should be able to hit girls. Yeah, I think it should just stop as at don't hit each other. Just don't do that. If it's like play fighting, fine, whatever. But like actual hitting, stop that shit. Just cut it out. Unless it's like someone like fucks with you, it's like self defense, whatever. That's of course fine. But this is not that. It's like girl's just angry, hits a boy, you should be able to hit back. That's kind of petty if you're thinking about it, because it's like, oh, just because you're angry, now I get to hit you, even though I have no reason to, except for the fact that you did. I don't know. I feel like it's kind of weird. And like, I feel like really if anyone hits you in this kind of regard, generally if you're talking about girl hits a boy, it's like, oh, you're just angry. She doesn't really mean it, probably. if it's like a situation like that with anyone, I feel like in that scenario you should be the bigger person and say, I'm not gonna hit back because I know they didn't mean it, or it's not really that important, something like that. You know, it's not so much boy girl. It's just don't hit people. All right, I'm going. I'll go a few more. Smoking around children and non-smokers should be considered disrespectful, and we should take it more seriously. Smokers should be more careful because cigarettes contain lots of chemicals that might be harmful for children or people with asthma, for example, which I can kind of relate. I had asthma as a kid, but I don't know if smoking ever bothered me, but I know for certain that it would definitely hurt some other kids. Among other respiratory conditions, a while ago I read an article that you can't have any contact with babies even 7 hours after smoking because chemicals still stick to your skin and clothes, and that can be dangerous to the baby because of contact with all that shit. Anyway, people still consider this normal and keep doing it. I feel like smokers probably, I feel like smokers probably would disagree with this. I feel like most people are probably on board with this. I don't feel like this is an unpopular opinion. So just for that, I'm gonna stick by this. But yeah, I kind of agree with that. Being someone who like had asthma and it was like really bad as a kid. It got bad, not super bad. Definitely not like I wasn't like one of the worst off people, but it got pretty bad sometimes. So I can totally see that. All right, I'll do two more. Video game graphics were done in 2010. I don't need to be able to count the pores on Sub-Zero's nose. Games looked great when I was a kid. Sure, they look better now, and for some games, a change is necessary. Example, the Sniper Elite series, better graphics equals longer range shots, but there's a few and far between, and even then, the individual blades of grass are overkill. The new Call of Duty game takes up 130 plus gigabytes for multiplayer and survival. That's not even a full game. Give me PS3 graphics unless the game needs to look better for a specific reason, and let me have more than 5 games installed on my console at once. I mean, this is also kind of taking the route that video games need to be minimalist and they need to be functional, because in and of themselves, video games are unessential. Again, don't get me wrong, I love me some video games. I'm a real epic gamer. But like, when we don't need to be having video games in the first place, I don't think it's really right of us to be judging getting better graphics. However, I do kind of agree with this in that I feel like as graphics get better, they take up way more space. So I feel like it would be harder to have the like console companies, whatever, just like get more space. So I think maybe what they should do is maybe design a game, the same version game that uses less graphics so that it can be downloaded at a smaller storage space, something like that. I don't know. Like maybe something secondary that comes with the game. So like you can buy the game and it has all the full stuff, but then there's an option. And I think a lot of games have that where you can turn on graphics and stuff, but that doesn't really clear up storage space. I feel like they should have an option of either downloading like the full version, like full graphics, whatever, or like a lower setting, like this guy's talking about, like PS3 graphics. Yeah, I don't know. All right, last one. Not every single negative feeling is a mental illness. It's so cringy. No, you're not suicidal. You just want the attention. You don't have an eating disorder. You're just on an effing diet. Your parents aren't assholes and certainly not giving you mental issues. You're just a spoiled brat. Some things can be sad but not depressing. You can be a little worried, but who are you to diagnose yourself with anxiety? It's really harming people with actual mental health issues because of attention-seeking stereotypes. I definitely think that this does happen one time. I'm also realizing there's an ad here, so I will do one more after this. Yeah, but I definitely, while I definitely do think that this does happen sometimes where people are just over dramatic, and that it's definitely like more like this than it used to be. Like people used to just like deal with whatever shit they were dealing with, even if they did actually have a mental health issue. But I feel like nowadays there are more people like this, and not to be like epic boomer, but like I feel like this is going a little far maybe, because while it isn't really good for people to just diagnose themselves with mental issues, like mental health and illnesses, whatever, just because of like certain like feelings or emotion tendencies that they have. I feel like it's also not this guy or whoever's job to judge that people don't actually have these without actually knowing it. I feel like it goes both ways. I feel like sometimes both sides go too far, and that's perfectly fine. It just means you need to fix both sides. So I feel like this is a little overkill, but yes, it does happen. Alright, last one, for real. Making kids kiss their relatives is incredibly weird. I 100% agree with this, and I'm glad I'm ending on this because this is a way lighter note. Hugging too, I don't know about that, because any unwanted contact is just creepy, but it's so weird to make kids give Uncle Weirdo or the grandparents a kiss. What do any parties gain from this? Why do you need affection from a toddler? Okay, I feel like hugging, at least in like American culture, hugging is fine. Hugging is like definitely a step below kiss. I feel like kissing, 100% weird. I feel like kissing should only be done with like a significant other. But like hugging, I don't know, because I know like in like French culture and stuff, hugging is actually above kissing, because like they do la bise in French, which is like a kiss on each cheek, and sometimes more than one on each cheek, whatever. But they do that normally in like normal greeting, whereas and they think that hugging is too intimate, whereas we usually do the opposite. So I don't know if this is like an American thing. I think hugging is probably fine, because I can see why you would say unwanted contact is creepy, but I feel like this is also coming from someone who probably just has issues with like contacting people. Maybe not quite like a germaphobe thing, just like doesn't want to touch people, which that's perfectly fine. But I don't feel like other people should be restricted from hugging. I feel like it's even weirder to just have it be awkward and have everyone just like sit there and wave at each other instead of like greeting people. So I feel like hugging should be fine. Maybe don't kiss other people. Maybe don't do that. Especially your parents. I hate seeing people where they kiss their parents on the lips. Like especially on the lips. If you kiss any of your relatives on the lips, you're fucking gross. Sweet home Alabama your ass down to the south, because that's fucking weird. But like even like a normal kiss like on the cheek or something, still kind of weird. Maybe if it's like your grandma or something. Even that is a little weird, but at least I can kind of see that. So, anyway, I think that's going to do it for this episode. Went on a little longer. It's now running on almost 20 minutes, but, you know, sometimes it happens. It happens to all of us. But this was great. It was good to look at some opinions that would be considered unpopular. I don't know. It's just fun to look at them and see what have I not thought about. Because a lot of times we tend to be in the majority, so what are some things that either I agree with that a lot of other people don't, or what are some other things that I didn't think about. It's just good to look at these things. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked it, you can hit that big old like button, because it tells me whether or not you like the video, so consider doing that. You can also feel free to check out the subreddit in the description. I'll leave it down there so you can go take a look. Also, feel free to check out my Twitter and Instagram. That's always down there. I do post on there, so I don't know. And also, feel free to leave comments. I always tell you, and no one does. Do it. Anyway, other than that, you can click right here to go see my most recent video. Click over here to go see all the other Reddit videos that I've done, and click right in the middle here to go subscribe. But anyways, thank you guys once again for watching, and I'll see all you guys in the next one. Reddit out. Bananas are stinky.